All right, guys, make a quick crypto video here. We got Bitcoin actually back up. We were at 108 just, I believe, on Saturday. Now we're at $111,000 Bitcoin. So a little bit of strength coming back into Bitcoin, which is pushing Bitcoin dominance up, back up to 58% Bitcoin dominance. We're at like 57.5, I believe, on Saturday. Well, actually, it says right here below. Oh, we were at 57.3 yesterday. Now back up to 58. But like I said, coincidentally, Bitcoin up $3,000. So obviously, if Bitcoin goes up, Bitcoin dominance goes up. You got your altcoins pretty much where they were. I mean, Ethereum 4,300, XRP $2.80. I think Cardano was like 82 cents. Yeah, 81, 82 cents. Really not much has changed with altcoins, but you are seeing Bitcoin go up, which could mean, who knows for sure, that Bitcoin might go up to like 112, 113, then level out, and then we'll get that Bitcoin dominance coming down, more money going into the altcoins, and then altcoins will make their second leg up. Now, everybody right now has become overly bullish, or excuse me, bearish for September. I'm noticing Crypto Ran Nooner. He's talking about, September we're going to be lower. He's talking about, I watched his show today. He's talking about the cycles will probably go for like another 8 months. Where nothing's going to, September's going to suck. Then we'll basically come up October, November. Might go even into the summer, next summer for this bull market. I don't think that's going to happen. I think the longest I've always been saying is by end of the year, December, January, you want to be out of these markets. I think what's happening is a lot of people aren't happy with the price action for some altcoins. So they're trying to basically say, oh, the cycle is going to go a lot longer than we previously thought. Now, it could. I don't really know. I mean, this is crypto. Anything can change. But I personally am still sticking by the end of the year, latest by the end of the year, you want to be out of these markets. Listen to a little bit of Crypto Ran, what he's talking about here. But, we're kind of in a phase of the market right now where Bitcoin's it's not doing all that much. And altcoins have pretty much been in the same range for a while. And a lot of people now, especially people who make crypto videos for a living, which is why I've always said, never trust somebody who makes crypto videos for a living. They're completely controlled by these exchanges. They have to be overly bullish because they're just not going to get the views. Bullish videos generally get views. And that's why I'm kind of happy I'm in a situation. Like when I make a crypto video, I just do it at my leisure. It doesn't really matter. There's no money I make on these videos. So I watch a lot of other YouTubers, and they're really pushing these exchanges. They're pushing these bots really heavy right now. And I believe that's because these sponsors are really kind of pushing these YouTubers because interest isn't super high right now as we kind of go into this alt season. And I think these exchanges are getting a little bit desperate, and they're kind of pushing that back onto their social media people, crypto banter, even like guys like Ben Cohen, whoever. I mean, anybody who has a crypto related sponsor, they're probably getting a lot of push right now to talk about these exchanges.
On ETH. And that's my data point, right? That's my data point. That's where I think it's going to end. And it kind of looks very similar to Ben Kahn's thesis, because what Ben's currently saying is he's saying, look, now that ETH has run the prior all-time high in August, I think ETH will drop back to a 21-week EMA. ETH's 21-week EMA is it's going to be somewhere around 3,500, which is kind of exactly where my levels are. My levels are 95,000 on Bitcoin, which, by the way, is this level over here, which is the 50 SMA on Bitcoin. And if you go to it on the weekly, by the time I think we'll catch up, it'll be about 100 or like somewhere around 100,000.
Anyway, so that's kind of the mood we're seeing right now. And it's not just Crypto Ran here. A lot of other guys on Twitter are saying it as well. A lot of people are talking about, at some point in September, we're going to go down to a $95,000 Bitcoin, bounce from there. Ethereum's going to drop another $1,000, which would put it, at 3,300. And that would, of course, be, mean a lot of these altcoins are going to drop. You'd probably have Cardano going back down to 60 cents or 50 cents or something like that. Maybe XRP back down to 220. Could that happen sometime in December? Yeah, but my point is, everybody right now has no idea what's going to happen. I'll tell you guys that 100%. Nobody knows. Anything could happen. We could go into full-blown alt season in the next couple of days. Trump could make an announcement. We could have a 50% dump tomorrow, a flash crash, which is why I've always said you have to be prepared for anything. And I would be highly skeptical of people who seem very confident that they know what's going to happen. And Rand Nooner's one of these people. He's wrong like 80% of the time. When he comes out, a lot of times when Rand Nooner comes out and he says there's going to be a big dump, we end up getting a big pump. A lot of times when Rand Nooner gets very, very bullish, we get a big dump. Like, you just don't know. That's kind of my point. Like, take everything right now people are saying with a grain of salt, because if anybody had any idea what was going to happen, they wouldn't be on YouTube talking about it. They'd be trading and making $1 billion, which isn't really happening. What do I think is going to happen? I think September is going to be overly bullish, but I could be wrong. We're seeing bullishness right now. The stock market is down 400 points today, I believe. I guess I don't have the stock market put up. But here we go. So the stock market is down. Dow falls 400 points to kick off September on tariff worries, blah, blah, blah. And I actually think this holds. So basically, a federal court struck down some of Trump's tariffs, which I think is actually going to help Bitcoin if Trump can't do a lot of these tariffs. I just see bullishness. So you got the stock market down 400 points. But it doesn't seem to be affecting risk assets all that much, because Bitcoin was at 108 over the weekend and now we're at 111. So how does that even make any sense? Like, who would have predicted that? Stock market down, Bitcoin up. To me, everything looks I guess the point I'm trying to make is you have to be a lunatic if you're like waiting for lower prices. Like, if you're not in the market right now and you're like waiting for lower prices, you're just going to get wrecked. You're not going to get them. And you're going to end up buying in a lot higher than you really wanted to. I mean, just like how, Bitcoin's now 111. It was 108 over the weekend. A lot of people were confident over the weekend we were getting a 105 Bitcoin. Now we're at 111. Yeah, by the end of the day, we could be right back down to 108, but nobody knows. It's basically you flip a coin right now and you see what's going to happen. And the volatility is kind of the way we make all the money. I was talking to somebody over the weekend. They're like, man, Cardano was at 50 cents and it went up to 97 cents just a couple of days ago. Now it's back down to 80 cents. Like, maybe it'll go back down to 50 cents. And he was like all stressed out about it. When I was talking about Cardano, I'm like, dude, that's the way you make money in these markets. You need the volatility. If I would be concerned if Cardano wasn't as volatile as it is right now, I would be very concerned. Like, say Cardano was like a stable coin. It was like 80 cents, 82 cents. For the last year, say Cardano's 82 cents. It goes up to 85, back down to 80. I'd be like, Cardano is not like showing anything interesting right now. Like, we need major dumps and major pumps to make money in these markets. What goes up must come down. If Cardano can dump from 95 cents back down to 60 cents, it can pump from 60 cents up to $2 just as easy. So the volatility is what you want. When you see Cardano dumping 10% a day, you should be happy. When you see it pumping, you should be happy, because it all correlates to the same exact thing. All right, guys. Let me see if there's anything else I'm missing right here. There's really not much to talk about. We're in a range right now. It's boring. And like I said, a lot of your YouTubers are just throwing out price predictions. They're hoping something's going to stick. And I'm noticing a lot more in some of these even smaller YouTubers. Like, they'll throw out 20 different things. And there's one guy who does this a lot. Like, actually, a lot of people do it. For example, I'll say, oh my God, we're getting $115,000 Bitcoin tomorrow. Then I'll make another video 3 hours later saying, but we could get $105,000 Bitcoin tomorrow. Then when tomorrow we go to 105, I just basically ignore the video I made talking about 115, and I basically just play the video saying I predicted 105. I'm noticing a lot more of that because the YouTubers just have no idea. Nobody has any idea what these markets are going to do over the next few months. And when you start to see people just throwing out these price numbers like they are, to me, it just reeks of desperation. And I think the market is going to do amazing things over the next couple months. I think going into the fall, we're going to be extremely bullish. I think Bitcoin's going to make it up to back up to 125. Actually, I want to play this article right here. Bitcoin to see one more big thrust to $150,000. Ethereum pressure builds. Peter Brandt says he'll turn bearish if Bitcoin drops under $107,000. While Trevor Cover predicts Ether will break out soon. So we got to 107 yesterday. Now we're back up to 111. Most people are thinking we're probably going to get $150,000. We're getting one more leg up to $150,000 Bitcoin. Then Bitcoin's going to go back down to like 140, 130. Then your altcoins are going to have one more leg up to $2 Cardano, $3 Cardano. You pick your coin, Ethereum, $7,000 or $8,000. Then we're going to go into a bear market. And that's kind of along the lines of what I'm thinking right now. But I'm also not a big believer in, oh my God, if Bitcoin drops below 107, that means the bull market's over. That's complete horseshit. It's complete horseshit. Like, yeah, if Bitcoin drops to $95,000 and it's like December, I would say we're not getting much of a bull market and we should probably look into basically just getting out of these markets. But we're nowhere near that. And we got $107,000 or $108,000 2 days ago. Now we're right back up to 111. So that's a pretty good bounce in Bitcoin. So that's pretty much it, guys. We'll see what happens. It's really, Bitcoin's kind of taking the lead right now, and your altcoins are basically just waiting to see what Bitcoin's going to do. We're in September. Everybody said September was going to be very bearish, but now Bitcoin's pumping in September. So does that mean Bitcoin is going to have a bullish September? I don't know. I think I've always said this before. I think crypto market's going to do what it does. You're going to have a couple of days of where everybody's bullish, then we get a 20% dump, and everybody says we're in a bear market. Then a week later, we get a pump again. Everybody's bullish again. September is going to be no different than any other month. But what we want to see is Bitcoin make it back up to all-time highs. We want to see Ethereum get back up to all-time highs, and that's going to basically give these altcoins the go-ahead to make their next level up. All right, guys, like and subscribe.